Dead in Hip Hop album, maybe mixtape review. Doc D, Planetory Destruction. For those that don't know, Doc D is a moniker for Logic, and now he is rapping under, I guess, a different person.
Wait,
What?
what'd you say? Doc D is a moniker for Logic? Don't you just said?
Or the opposite. Man, look, man, y'all know what the hell I meant. Y'all know what the hell I meant.
That's correct. But do
That's
we know
correct.
for a fact
That's not
that
correct because we don't know for a fact.
Oh, that's what you're saying. Yes,
Yeah,
that's what I'm
yeah.
saying too. Do we
Okay,
know
yeah.
for a fact that it's
okay.
Logic? Did Logic tell you it was him?
I do not have personal confirmation, but this released on January 21st, and it already has 228,000 streams on this particular project and 277,000 downloads. Personally, look, we could dispel the Logic stuff, this, that, and the third. I personally think it's him. I don't know how y'all feel. Do y'all think it's him? It's not him?
Yes, I think it's him.
It's him. It's definitely,
Okay.
it's definitely him. I mean, cat's out the bag. You know what I'm saying? Cat's out the bag. Surprise. Surprise. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
What's that shit in the Scooby-Doo where they always reveal the person? Surprise. Okay. It's
Wait
like,
with it. Wasn't for you pesky kids.
right. One for you Betsy kids.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure everybody's on the same page. All right, cool.
All the fucking
this-
skits, it's gotta be Logic.
Man.
But here's
that's
the thing,
that's
though.
another giveaway. Mhm.
I mean, before we even did this review, like his core fan base was saying that it was him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Were they?
yeah, his core fan base was like, you know, and if you see comments on it, it's like, oh man, Logic, yeah, another one, da 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 da. So, you know,
Oh,
I
okay.
think they're pretty. I don't think anyone is thinking that this is anyone else.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that anywhere. Like where somebody's like, oh man, you know what? I don't know. It might not be him. I haven't seen that. Everybody think it's him. Okay,
Yeah.
because it is him.
Well, so that's interesting because I actually ended up on Reddit and people are still confused. As to whether, yes, I'm just read through a whole thread.
I wasn't fully positive either. There were certain rap patterns where I was like, that sounds like some shit Logic would say. But he really tweaked his voice a lot.
Now,
Oh,
somebody
wow.
on here said if you turn up the pitch, you can definitely hear it's him.
See, I ain't doing all that
Another
no Logic
person
rap.
said that he apparently met Doc D 3 years ago.
That's Logic in his Reddit fucking name. Ain't nobody met Doc D.
I'm just,
How do you know he has a mask on?
I don't know. I'm just saying that, you know, to your point,
To
that
counter,
people
yeah.
are still. I thought everybody knew it was him.
Yeah.
Because I believe that it's him, but apparently there's some.
I thought his core fan base knew it was speculated before it even
This is
dropped.
on
that
the
it was him.
Logic Reddit.
All right, so we're back to the review. I honestly liked it. I honestly liked it. I feel that the rebrand was a bit refreshing, and also, you know, this is not Logic's first foray into intergalactic space concept album, but I think that this is the best that he's done it, and I think it's because the concept was really loose and it didn't really follow anything that was too structured or just too out there. Like, it wasn't like too many ideas floating around. So I enjoyed it from that perspective. I do think there was too many skits. You don't need that many skits to tie in a concept project like this. I think it was just a little bit too much. However, I do like the change in the voice and also the change in the flow, because he wasn't giving you that double time. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't giving you that. But I think that the content was there, the flow was there. It sounds like a really dope rebrand for him. Also, I feel like he brought it back to the root of, like, musically, sonically. Like this felt like a Logic project in terms of the music, the beats.
You don't think the timing was bad on the rebrand?
I do.
But why? Why do you think it was bad, Ralph?
Well, because obviously, you know, the mass man MF Doom just, you know, passed. And obviously he passed in October, but the world didn't know until December, and then it's January, and then we got a project like this. And and obviously it wasn't the best timing. And I think he definitely could have helped, like, because this project, it feels like it's something that's relatively evergreen, meaning that he could have dropped it in January, he could have dropped it in December 2021, it would have still got the same reception. It's not like this felt like, oh, these are summertime hits. This feels like winter music or fall music. Like this shit, you could have dropped this whenever. So I don't think that the timing was right.
I'm not mad at the rebrand, but it's just I'm a little mad at the timing of the rebrand.
Why is that?
Because of everything that Feefo just said, as far as like, you know, Doom is concerned. Because he even made like a Doom reference. He was like, it was towards the end, like, no pun or something like that.
But he made a lot of Doom references.
Yeah. Oh, see, I didn't catch all the Doom references.
At times it sounded like he rapping like him, or trying to.
Oh, you talking about the style?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, I didn't really catch the style like that, honestly. Did he do the style like that?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Okay. So I guess, it's just, you know, and one can say he's inspired, right? One can say that, you know, that's arguable, you know, that's arguable. But just to kind of, you know, go back into the review, I don't think it was bad. It's just the skits made it silly to me. And I listened to it two ways. I listened to it and skipped the skits. And I was like, okay, this sounds actually pretty good without the skits. And it reminds me of like what y'all was saying about the Tits album, the Incredible True Story is what it was called.
Stop doing that. Anytime someone's in the Tits, I'm like,
yeah, that was the acronym for
I just forgot.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel that way with y'all. I liked it on that album. I liked the skits on that album, but I really felt like it was bad here. I felt like how y'all felt about them.
You feel like it was done bad? Or you just
It
like
just
the
was
placement
too.
of
It was just too much. It was just too silly sounding, and it takes you out of the music.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Because I thought the beats here were pretty good, and I thought you know the flows were okay, and the way he sounded was okay with the modifier or whatever. But yeah, just the skits in it just really broke up the music. For me,
Rod, I agree with you, bro. Like it cheapened up the project.
When I first saw this pop up, I was like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
This is fucking stupid. Once I listened to it, I actually disagree with you a little bit, Rod.
Okay.
I don't think the timing is bad, and here's why.
Okay.
I think if he had not made any Doom references, I would have shit all over this.
Okay.
And said this was tacky, this was disrespectful, all of the above. But this came off to me like a very clear Doom homage.
Okay.
As opposed to him just biting Doom style. Now the thing is, Lupe did an homage track where he flipped Doom style. Open Mike Eagle did the same thing. If you have not heard those songs, they're fucking great.
Novelist made an EP homage to Doom called Metal Face.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
So
called Metal Face.
I feel like it's kind of unfair for us to say, okay, well, Lupe can do it, Open Mike can do it, Knowledge can do it. But if Logic does it, it's disrespectful. Now, if he didn't mention Doom at all, I would be with you 100%.
He made an album.
But that's okay. If Logic felt like I want to pay homage to one of the greatest rappers of all time, and he put together an album where he is clearly referencing Doom. This is go ahead. No, go ahead.
But everybody else acknowledged that it was a Doom homage.
So does he?
See, I don't get that.
I didn't hear
I
him
do. Okay.
say that.
The cover is a villainous guy with a mask on. He says flat out in one of the skits, "I'm a villain," and then he says, "I stay with the dough like Marge. MF Doom mixed with El DeBarge."
I remember he said that.
I mean,
yeah, but again, like, I don't think it's clear. I think if that was the case, he should have made it a little more. I
think
understand what you're saying.
This is art, and rap fans, I feel like we should be able to read between the lines.
Yeah, I think you just brought a very interesting perspective because I missed that. I heard a couple things like you said in the album or whatnot. But I think if it was a lot more clear, like the Novelists of the world, like the Lupes of the world, I would have felt a lot better listening to this.
Okay, what made the Novelist one clear? Did he say, "Hey, this is a Doom homage"?
Yeah.
But did he say it in the album? Did he say it in a tweet?
I mean, he didn't say it in the album, but like, yeah, promoting the album, getting the album ready. Yes, he clearly was like, "This is a dedication to one of my favorite."
Now, what if he didn't do that? Would you have picked that up?
Probably so.
I mean, I think the game that Logic played here was a cool game. He's like, I'm gonna pretend that this is an alter ego, something that Doom has done for years. And he comes out with this project. And Now, granted, I didn't love it, but I thought it was cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
And even the skits that you're saying are silly, that's a direct Doom homage. Doom does that all the time with these goofy skits.
Mad Villainy had a whole bunch of goofy
Fucking
skits.
But when they
Operation
got goofy
Doomsday?
though, like it just felt over the top.
Operation
Because it's logic.
If a few things were pulled back a little bit, I would have felt a lot better about the project. Not saying that I don't like the project because I thought it was cool, especially without the skits. I just felt like those skits should have been pulled back a little bit. It just pulled me out of the album. Like I said, when I listen to it without it, when I skip over them, I'm like, oh man, that song goes into
it makes it more enjoyable when you listen to it.
It really does. It really
I'm with
does.
you 100% on that. I don't like the skits at all.
I don't like them
I'm
either.
just saying I understand why he did it. That makes it more of a direct homage to Doom. Doom is easily in my top 5 rappers of all time. So I didn't want to be mad about this, but when I first heard about it, I was.
Yeah.
Until I listened to it.
Got you.
And I was just like, I have no issues with this.
But Logic's always had skits in his album.
He has. But these types of skits, especially like the one where he flipped that
strange.
Gil Scott-Heron reference, or this Gil Scott-Heron sample, that's some shit that directly that Doom would do. Directly. Now the little radio things, that shit was annoying and stupid.
Yeah.
So here's my take on it. In terms of for the music, for those that are here for a review, we have to talk about what the overall idea behind the album as well, because it's part of the music.
Sure.
I thought it was cool. Yeah, I thought it was fine. I thought the beats. I mean, it was logic.
Yeah.
You know, the rapping was there's a couple of lines here and there that I don't rock with, but overall, as a listen, I was like, man, this actually isn't bad.
But
I just could not get past what I felt was him taking advantage. This is me putting it on him. He hasn't said it. I want to say that out loud, but it was just hard to get over that.
Yeah, I feel you.
And that's why I felt that if he came outright and said it, it would have been a little bit better for me.
I think that would have been really dope. I think that would have been really dope if he would have said, yo, this is the way I want to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I feel you too, being an artist and this is art or whatever, not saying it and just kind of read between the lines. But I think in this situation, he needed to kind of say it.
What I was asking myself was that, okay, but is it, because there was a conflict. I was like, okay, so is it fair though? What if he had this plan before Doom died?
And it was just a coincidence.
Release date, and it just happened.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
nobody even knew. So is it fair for him to say, like, bad timing for him to push this back because Doom died, so nobody would think he was biting? So these were the things that was going through my head. I was asking myself a series of questions, trying to get back to the music, I guess. Get back to, let me just review the music and listen to music. But there's a lot that also goes into the album as well. Like with, Doom dying and him being Docty and this villain.
Here's my thing. There's a few things. One, if he pushed this back 6 months, it wouldn't have had nearly the impact. But that's a problem. And two, think about Logic's core fan base. How many of those guys are listening to MF Doom?
Probably not a lot, but what do you mean impact?
Doom just died,
Yeah.
right? So the impact here is he just turned a whole bunch of people that had no idea who the fuck Doom was onto one of the greatest rappers that people like us think is amazing. I can guarantee, and this is not shitting on Logic's fan base at all, but those kids probably don't listen to Doom. The average Logic fan is probably like, oh my God, this is crazy. This is weird and inventive. But then they might hear the fact that he says the words MF Doom and or Doom a couple times on this project and be like, well, who is Doom?
Yeah, the reason why I asked that, because I asked myself that same question. So if he pushed it back, what would the response have been? And I think the response pretty much would have been the same. Like, I feel like it was like no way really for him to win, because one way or the other, whether it was now,
and I was
whether it was
thinking
a
about
couple of
that
months
too,
down the line, people would still have that same sort of criticism for those that do, like myself.
Yeah, so I don't think it's so much. I'll take that back. I don't think it was a bad timing thing. I think it was just a thing of just putting it out there a little bit more what you were doing.
This takes me back when we had that conversation about Childish Gambino's This Is America, and then we had Open Myke on, and he had to we had that discussion around people explaining their art. I don't think that he had to explicitly explain it, because if you were a Doom fan, I feel like you're gonna pick up on that immediately. Even without the cover art and shit, I feel like it would have been very obvious that he was making an homage to Doom. As many times as we've called Logic a little corny, I don't think Logic is an idiot. He would have to be a stone cold moron to put this out and not expect people to pick up on the Doom references and be like, you're a biter. He'd have to be an idiot for that. So he did this intentional. He's pretending to be this villain, something that Doom does. He doesn't come out and say that it's him, which is a reference to Doom and the Doom posters. As much as I think that Logic is corny sometimes, I think this is actually a really interesting move. I don't think this is biting because he clearly says Doom's name multiple times on this album. I don't have an issue with it.
And to that point, even on the album, he even acknowledged how he reinterprets some of his favorite rappers.
I took out my voice box.
And styles and flows and stuff like that. So he kind of acknowledges that he pays homage or whatever to some of his favorite rappers, contemporaries that he liked. I don't know, as what some would label a traditionalist, it does feel like he's biting his style.
Well, let me interject real quick because I would say I'm probably the most non-Doom fan in the room, even though I'm not physically there. But this is the reason why, Rod, I agreed with what you said initially in terms of the timing, because not being a Doom fan, to me, the timing just, again, outside looking in, it feels, again, my own personal opinion, it feels slightly disrespectful. But from an artist perspective, from Logic's perspective, I can see if this is one of the people that inspired you to be a dope rapper, obviously you would want to get it out as quickly as possible. But outside looking in, it's kind of like, damn, like this quick, because we've been through recording a project multiple times. Can you do something in 30 days? Yeah. But this is less than 30. He dropped it on the 21st. Everybody caught wind of it in December. So to me, that's why I'm saying, like, the timing feels like, did you just rush to do this, like, just to get it out? Like, I don't know, like, we should mourn death. And I'm not saying it's wrong to pay homage to one of your favorite artists, but that's why I feel outside looking in, it just feels like you're just trying to take advantage of the situation.
Yeah, we're talking about like 2-3 weeks to produce this album. Like,
but Knowledge did an EP, and this is basically a fucking EP if you take out all the skits.
Yeah.
Nah, it's still relatively kind of long.
Not really, bro. Think about it. Some of the songs didn't even have rap verses. If you take out all of the skits, and then you remove the songs that didn't have verses, and then the other songs only had like one verse, which is another direct.
But see, this seems like a very planned out script that he had for this whole thing. Like with the way he constructed these skits, it seemed like he had to put a lot, because he got like 3-4 different personalities.
Maybe he's just that good at making skits.
He may be.
Straight up.
He may be. And if he is, man, more power to him. But it just seems like something that had been in the process for longer than 2 weeks.
Okay, so let's say if it was, right? Let's say if he'd been, I don't think it was, because Doom does not strike me as the type of rapper that gives Logic a battery in his back. He just doesn't. But let's go off your theory and say that he's been playing this for the last year. And after Doom passed, he was just like, fuck, man, I gotta go ahead and finish this project because I want to pay my homage to Doom. That more so even makes me say, I don't really see a big deal with this. Yes, we mourn death. You're right, Ralph. But as MCs and artists, what's the best way to pay homage, man? You release an album or an EP directing people back to the guy that you're paying homage to, and or put people on to the guy you're paying homage to. But if we're gonna say, well, he didn't say it outright and he should have flat out saying it, but now you're kind of controlling how people create art, and I think that's a little bit unfair.
I don't think he had to explain. It's more for me is that just say something.
Well, what's the difference between explaining this is a Doom reference or saying this is a Doom reference?
I can't say that, like, I caught all of those references in the rhyme patterns and all of it, or even the skits, like how that was paying homage to Doom, because to me, I've heard Logic do skits before, and this was on par with what he's done before. So I'm like, the whole Doom thing doesn't resonate for me with this project like that.
Yeah, I did at first. Initially, I thought the timing was a little. I'm like, damn, this is such a coincidence that he's doing this right after the passing of Doom. So yeah, going into this, I was just like, okay, what's going on here? But after listening to this album, I'm just like, okay, this is what any other artists we've heard before that pay homage to artist albums, that pays homage to an artist that they inspired by, whether it's another hip hop artist or a jazz artist or an R&B, like whatever. So I mean, I do think it's solid. For me personally, I feel like it really picked up for me with Back to the Basement. Like I really love Back to the Basement, Outer Space Gang,
Castro.
And then the fact that he got punched from TDE and Dell on here. So yeah, I thought the second half of this project was really
that shit. Ghostface too.
Yeah.
So that's what made me like, yo, why would they agree to this? Like, why would they sign on? To
because
this?
I know Ghostface. I mean, Ghostface and MF Doom is tasked. I'm pretty sure. I don't know how Logic got them.
I understand that, but I'm saying during the listening of this project before Myke brought this perspective, when I was listening to this, I thought it was odd at first when I heard like Dell and Ghostface. Punch. I'm like, yo, why would they sign on to this or whatever? So that kind of lends to what Mike's saying about this being a paying homage to Doom versus like just straight biting. I don't think it was. I didn't think he was straight biting. It just was like.
It was a homage. I mean, and I agree with you. I definitely didn't like the skits, but when I was like, okay, this is Operation Doomsday, Mad Villainy. Like Doom does this. He have all these crazy type of skits.
He's doing they might not be stuff,
they might not be doing the radio, that whole radio shit.
No, it would be cartoon.
It would be
that's cool. I don't mind that. I don't mind hearing like sample cartoon stuff. I think that's pretty cool actually in hip-hop. Sure. It's just like Logic playing the skits like of all these different personalities.
It's like Logic,
and I understand that's what he does because I don't want to hate on the skits too much. You know what I'm saying? Because I know he clearly puts a lot of thought and time into this.
He told us to shut the fuck up and talking about these skits. He said it,
and I normally don't. I normally don't. I normally like his skits.
When you're talking about Dell, I wanted to say that I feel like he had to have Dell on this album.
Okay.
Because this album is clearly a mixture of Doom and Deltron 3030.
Yes.
If he didn't reference Doom, it would have been tacky. And I feel like if he didn't say anything about Dell, it would have been kind of tacky. So I feel like Logic played this very smart.
If this was his therapeutic way, if this is his way to pay homage to MF Doom, I think Logic did a good job, man. I think he did a solid job to pay homage.
Did this put? I don't know if y'all were up on it, but did this put y'all in a Captain Murphy vibe? Like did y'all think?
I remember Captain
Murphy a little bit. Yeah. That's Flying Low. Yeah.
See, I didn't think of Doom as much as Captain Murphy.
But I was still on the Doom rap thinking about it because going into this album, I'm just thinking Doom.
And so Captain Murphy was kind of a Doom thing too.
Yeah.
I know, but
that's what the point I was going to make earlier.
Okay,
that
go ahead.
Deltron 3030 was kind of a take on Doom as well.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
So I feel like him putting Dell on this album, it just really brought it home for me. When I was listening to this, I was just like, I'm not mad at this. If he didn't have Dell and he didn't reference Doom, I'd have been like, this is some bullshit. And I think if he didn't, I think Logic is going way out of his way to make people, I mean, I don't think it could really get any clearer without him saying this is a Doom homage.
Yeah.
He's going out of his way to make people understand like, yo, I'm paying homage to Doom. Yeah. And I'm clearly referencing things like Quasimodo, and I'm clearly referencing things like Deltron 3030.
Yeah.
I don't want to get into the mindset of telling artists that you have to be explicit with everything.
Right.
Now, there was one issue I had. The song Backstory. I think it was the song Backstory. He said, but there's a different story for a different day. Destruction here to do this rap shit differently. Why didn't he just say different lay? That was one of the only issues, and that shit irked me. Logic, you could have done better than that, bro.
Yeah,
but for the most part, man, there weren't any songs where I was like, that's whack. But Back to the Basement was fucking hard as shit because Castro killed
shit was
that verse.
Crazy.
Ahead of my time, but I still killed some shit from back in the day. Hard ass verse. Outer Space Gang was dope. Butt Ass Naked was dope. Butt Ass Naked is the one where he said I went to the reptilian planet and caught Gatorades. I mean, that really sounds like some goofy shit that Doom would say.
That second half of the album, man, it really picked up for me.
And hearing Dell with Ghostface was fucking hard as shit. Like, man, he said something like, "I smack you with a comment so hard you'll see the sun age." Like,
And he also said when he started talking, it was like, "Oh, fake ass villain" and shit like that. Did y'all catch that?
Who said that?
Ghostface said that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he did.
See,
So now that's what I'm saying. Like that made me be like, oh, wait a minute. What?
He's
like,
dropping nuggets here.
why?
Mhm.
Like, why would he have that?
I understand what Myke is saying. It makes sense.
Mhm.
I just see it differently.
Sure.
And I don't know, man. I think it's just all too coincidental for me.
You
Like-
think the timing of it is too coincidental?
I mean, it could lead to Mike's theory,
Mhm.
popping up on January 13th and saying, "Hey, an announcement tomorrow," and then you got Doc D, him trying to throw people off, talking about, "I met this guy 3 years ago," blah blah blah.
In
blah.
Chicago.
Yeah, all of these
Mhm.
things that he's trying to create, but also this Logic is known for creating and writing these stories. He has 2 or 3 albums like this as well. So I could easily see him moving in on an opportunity to try to reinvent himself or put out music under an alter ego just to put out music, because Logic retired, Doc D hasn't. So maybe that allows him to, give him some space to just create without all of the harsh judgment from people, which is part of the reason why he retired.
Since you just said that, if Planetory Destruction 2 came out, then I might be on your side.
Mhm.
I don't think we need another one of these.
He said
Yeah.
he'll be back. He said he got away though.
That's fine. You can get away, but don't come back. Like, escape. And this is not shitting on Logic,
Mhm.
or if this is a different person, if this is actually a different rapper, it's not shitting on him either. I don't think we need a part 2 to this, because then I'm going to agree with you, because now I don't need you to rebrand yourself as MF Doom.
Right.
Mhm.
If you want to just drop an homage project, that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
great and that's respected.
Yep.
And I appreciate you doing it. But if you're really
About to run with this?
rebranding and you're gonna run with this, then it's gonna be like, all right, bro, you can't really do. Look, nothing is new under the sun. We've all heard
No.
this.
Yeah.
And Doom doesn't have a moratorium or a copyright on doing villainous things like this, right?
Mhm.
But at the same time, as rap fans, there's just certain shit we feel like you can't do.
Yeah.
Raekwon told y'all this shit years ago. I don't want none of y'all
Yeah,
motherfuckers sound like me on your record.
On no album.
On no album.
No album.
So I don't think that if this is Logic, I don't think it would be a good idea for him to do a part 2.
Cool. So what are your favorite tracks on this joint?
You go.
Oh, you know what? No.
You go.
The reason why it came out like that, I'm so used to doing the audio reviews. That's how we kind of
Oh.
segue into that. So that's my fault.
Favorite track.
Hey, favorite tracks. So favorite tracks for me, give me Planetory Destruction, give me Green Juices, give me Back to the Basement, give me Bounty Law.
I'm gonna start from the bottom. I'm gonna go Bounty Law, Outer Space Gang, Back to the Basement, Green Juices, and I think I'll go Planetory Destruction.
Give me Back to the Basement, Outer Space Game, Butt Ass Naked, Ready Player Gun, 20 Million Wooings. And Bounty Law too. Yeah.
All right, so my favorite tracks are Bounty Law, 20 Million, Outer Space Gang, and Butt Ass Naked.
I'm definitely going Bounty Law, Butt Ass Naked, Outer Space Gang, Back to the Basement, and I'm gonna go double sample.
Yeah, that was nice.
Logic, the way you flipped that fucking
That
Gil
nice.
Scott Heron sample was fucking nasty. Doom is looking down from the heavens, being like, "Bro, you did that shit."
That was nice. Almost picked that one.
Who are you gonna
Um,
address?
Both of them. Logic and Dr. D. Doc D. Logic / Doc D. If you're watching, I enjoyed this, and this is coming from a non-MF Doom fan, so I didn't catch all of the references and stuff like that. Obviously, the obvious stuff was there, and that was cool. I like it. I like this project. I like the slight rebrand. I also agree with Myke. It is. I hope you don't do too many more of these, because then it does cheapen.
Anymore.
For me personally, I'm okay with one more. For Myke and Doom fans, I understand if this is all you need, but I do like it. And Logic, you retired from rap. I'm glad that you brought out Doc D. But I honestly, I think it's too early for you to retire. And I think that this project kind of shows that, in my opinion, that you still have a lot of creative juices in that brand of yours. And I would like for you to continue to rap. But that's me. That's one out of however many million people that follow and like you. But at the end of the day, this project right here, man, Planetory Destruction, I fuck with it. I like it.
Logic, if you're watching, I say Logic because I believe it's you. Well, we can say Doc D/Doc D, but again, I think it's you. No, I think Myke brought an interesting perspective to the review today. And, you know, I'll take him up on that. And taking him up on that, I think this was a pretty cool homage to MF Doom. And like I said, I didn't even me not thinking that it was a homage to him. I thought it was cool. I thought the beats were cool. I thought the rhymes were cool. The only thing I kind of had an issue with was the skits. It just came off a little silly to me, which took me out of the music, and then the music would come back and then bring me back. So I got tired of going in and out of the music. So I actually listened to this thing without the skits and enjoyed it a little bit more.
Yeah, Doc D/Logic, if you're watching. Solid project, man. You know, Logic, good job of paying that homage to MF Doom. I like the beat selections. I love what you did with a lot of the samples, how you chopped up a lot of the samples on here. But yeah, like I said before, man, that second half, y'all really brought it home on me in that second half of this project. I enjoyed it. But Logic, we knew when you dropped your last project, you weren't gonna be gone. You weren't going quiet. So for you to come back, whether if you was inspired by MF Doom after his death, or if this was your way of just kind of like being therapeutic of way of him passing, just did a good job with this project. So solid project, man.
You know, tricked y'all. Y'all been some suckers. But Doc D, if you're watching, just judging this off the beats and the lyrics alone, I thought this was a solid project. It was an enjoyable listen. I enjoy the rhyming. I enjoy, a number of songs on here outside of the 5 that I listed, and I like the production as well. And I thought overall it was pretty diverse, in spots. And I think that was enough to kind of keep me interested, especially with the Bucket Ass Naked and whoever you had singing on that song, because they were singing their ass off when they got to some of the the ad libs towards the end. So by far my favorite song on there. But overall, I thought this was overall a pretty good project.
Logic, Dr. Destruction. I mean, we're pretty certain that it's you, Logic. If it is not you, and if it really is a Dr. Destruction, cool, I guess. If it is a different person, then I assume this isn't an homage and this is just what you do. And if that's the case, to be honest, I would think that this would be a little lame. Now, if this is Logic paying an homage, which I think it is, then I think this was really cool. I think it was cool to drop a project after an iconic rapper's death, kind of showing that how much you respect that person and how creative that person was in his craft, and you showing how that person's creativity in his craft affected you. So Logic, cool album. I don't think that you're gonna make another one of these because I just don't see you being that type of rapper to rebrand yourself as another rapper's personality. That just seems like some face-off type shit, and I don't think that's you.